Is my opinion. Though I know people, no, that's even going to get worse. Okay. Just dropping that subject and moving on. Yes.
It was really interesting connection to the story, and I was wondering, are there any other characters or things that are kind of inspired by something that we find like a little interesting, or like Easter eggs, I guess?
Okay. Well, yeah. In one book, I named all the characters after the staff of the people at Mysterious Galaxy. Well, I was hard up for names. I got a big kick out of it. Yeah, it all depends on my mood. Yes, sir.
So I've seen that Lafayette is a pretty popular character on the show.
Yes.
Obviously, he, has a different demise at the end of the first book. Do you ever wish that maybe some of the characters that are popular on the show you would have continued in the books?
Well, they're different on the show. They're not the same as my characters were. Lafayette wasn't nearly as glamorous and strong in my books. He was kind of a nice guy, but a pathetic sort of guy, a very needy guy in my books, and he just wasn't the same amazing Nelson Ellis that we see. And why that guy didn't get an Emmy, I don't know.
I don't either, because I love that toilet seat cover.
Really, he is awesome. Yes, ma'am. Is Suki going to have any kids? Not in the next book.
I know.
And maybe not in the book after that, but eventually I hope she does have kids because she likes kids. Yes. Am I going to do any more Aurora Tea Gardens? I would love to have the time to do another Aurora Tea Garden. And it could be that when I finish Suki, I'll write another one. But I'm not going to make any promises, but that's one of the things I've wanted to do for a long time. Yes, way back there, yes, sir.
You've shown Lily Bard Leeds shows up, and you've seen Suki's impressions of Lily. Is there any chance you're going to write a short story from Lily's perspective of Suki?
Probably not, and I'll tell you why, because Lily does not live in the same world Suki does. You'll notice in the two scenes Lily's been in the Suki saga, there are no vampires, because that is just not part of Lily's world. And if I ever went back to Lily's world, I don't want to have to completely change it to include supernatural creatures. But I kind of miss her, and I like to revisit her every now and then. Yes, Lee. Yes, ma'am.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, I'll extend my husband's question because I know it was actually the true question he wants. Are you ever planning to go back to Lily's world because Lily Bard is his favorite?
Thank you. I appreciate that, but that comes from a very dark place, and I don't really plan to revisit it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes.
I know you said no really spin-offs, but I was wondering if any maybe short stories about some of the external characters aside from Suki.
That might be, and it might be I'll write a spin-off. It's just not something I've planned to do yet.
Okay.
So the world is open to me. Yes.
Have you thought about doing a prequel book with Suki's grandma?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think I've said everything I have to say about Adele in the books, especially in this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there going to be any other supernatural beings coming out in the next book?
Probably not. Are there going to be any new supernatural beings in the next two books? Probably not, because I'm in the process of tying things together, not re-exploding them. But who knows what I'll decide to do. I might have a crazy day. Yes.
I'm writing. Wanted to ask about your process. Do the characters, when I'm writing, the characters just start talking? Does that happen to you as well, or? Okay.
No, really. I'm not putting you down, but I think what happens is you know your characters so well that you find yourself developing new ideas. They don't really talk to you.
I don't know what you're talking about. Eric talks to me all the time.
Yes.
Have you ever learned about the origin of Barry's power?
The origin of well,
Barry.
yeah. Oh, Barry. I thought you said fairies. I thought No. You know, maybe, and I know that I haven't explained how he got his telepathy, and if Barry comes back into the story, I'll tell you. But if he's not part of the story, I won't. Because that's the story I'm telling, is Sookie's story. Yes, ma'am.
Do you read any other authors in your genre?
Sure.
Like Hamilton?
Sure.
Because your werewolf and her werewolf, they have progressed the same, it seems like. They started out mean, and they slowly gotten more violent and rougher as the series keeps going on. So it was a comparison.
Oh, that Laurel, she just... Yeah, no, I am a big fan of Laurel's. I do. But any similarities are unintentional, at least, you know, I think so. At least on my, of course on her part, and I hope on my part. But I certainly do read her. I read Patricia Briggs also. Jim Butcher is great. There are just some wonderful, wonderful writers in this genre now.
Now you've got your...
Who's my favorite? Well, I read a lot of mystery too. I love Lee Child. I love Barry Eisler. I think they're both great. I really enjoy, well, really the best writer that I've ever encountered. You want living or dead? Okay, living. Well, I like Sarah Monette a lot. She's not a real popular writer, but I really do like her. I love to get a new book by Laurel. I love Patricia Briggs. I think she's great. I like Janine Frost a lot. Yeah, and she's really a great person too, so that makes it even more fun for me. I like Karen Marie Moning. More on the, she really writes some dark stuff, which is awfully unexpected, I think. And I like Mike Carey a whole lot. He's an English writer. I think he's great. I like Simon R. Green a lot.
Yeah.
We have the same agent, and I know him somewhat, so he's a big favorite of mine. If we're talking, you know, paranormal or crossover or whatever. So those are all. I just read a lot. I have a feature on my website called Book and Blog, where every week when I'm at home, you can read about what I've been reading and enjoying. I don't write about the books I hate, because that's just negative. No point in doing that. Yes?
What advice would you have for would-be writers?
You know, I can give you a 1.5 hour lecture, or I can condense it into 2 sentences.
Okay.
I'll do the condensed version. Read, and then put your butt in a chair and write. That's it. That's all you can do. Nothing will teach you how to write like writing. Yes?
Okay, so I've read several of your series, and thank you so much for finishing the Harper Connolly for me, because I loved that series.
Thank you.
So much, and I was so sad when you told us that you were going to end it, unfortunately, but I was glad you did. But your first books were all murder mystery based, and I was just curious, what made you want to write murder mysteries? Like,